Hi, my name is Grayson, and I'm with Communications Across the Curriculum at LSU. In this video, I'm going to help you with making your message stand out more in your visual. The tips I'm going to share are relevant for any major and type of visual, and are meant to serve as foundational knowledge for you. The main topics we're going to go over are color, framing, and image use. The first step when starting to make a visual, or anything communication oriented, is to think about the rhetorical triangle because it's a vital tool to guide you when starting to think about the message you are conveying to your specific audience and why they should listen to you as the speaker. I covered the rhetorical triangle in more depth in part 1 on the basics of organization, so if you want to know more about it, then check out part 1 of this 3-part series. So when you want some information to stand out more than others in your visual, color is a great tool to use. When talking about color, you want colors that enable content to be easily read, highlight key points, and unify information. Some colors work really well together, while certain colors don't, like neon yellow for text in a PowerPoint. So once you have ensured everything is easy to read and have the basic organization down, you can take the use of color one step further and start to use it to mean or say something. In this section, I have a number of questions that are important for you to ask yourself throughout the design process. First, I want you to check out this poster. The first thing you're going to likely notice about the poster is the color orange and probably the big orange octopus on the left. It uses the color orange to focus the audience's attention on the various pieces of data about the octopus. This makes your eyes dart around to every orange part of the poster, moving from one section to another. Because of that, this might not be the best organized poster, but the color helps to guide the audience to the various snippets of information that the poster wants to tell you about. Going over the basics of color, you want everything on your graphic to be readable. So you have to ask yourself, is your graphic overwhelming? Too much color, and the audience will have no idea where to look or will just not want to look at it. This is the case in this poster. Visually, you don't know where to start or what's important because everything is given the same importance in terms of its color, and that causes confusion as to what this poster is talking about. All in all, it is an overstimulating poster which does not help explain the person's message well due to the lack of hierarchy among other non-color based issues that I won't go over. Opposite of that, does everything look the same? Is there no contrast in your visual? Can the audience tell what is going on or when one part ends and another begins? More importantly, though, does your main idea stand out in the poster? This also has to do with readability because if your audience can't read your visual, then not even organization can help to explain your message. This visual is pleasing to look at, but does it tell you anything right away? You can still read through it, but the color in this poster isn't used to explain or connect anything together, so this visual isn't all that helpful. Last, does your field or major have specific colors that mean something important? This can dissuade you from using specific colors and empower you to use others to signal that red means danger and blue means ocean, for example. This frame is also a good example of the techniques of repetition and mapping because if you say that red means fire, then every time you use red, you're signaling to the audience that you're talking about fire. When looking at this image, one can assume that the location of the fire is where the map is red. This use of mapping really helps to limit the audience's need to think about what they are looking at. It would still get the point across if they used blue on the map to indicate where the fire is, but it would be confusing and take longer for the audience to get the hint. So before we move on to the next section, I wanted to tell you of another resource that CXC has made for your use. If you want to learn even more about color science, then we have a video on CXC's YouTube page. This goes even more in depth into finding the right combinations of colors for your visual and the different emotions some colors evoke. There are also many different websites you can use when figuring out what colors work well with each other. So, framing is when you put a border or box around an element or group of elements to draw the attention. Framing can also be done with white space or negative space, as a lack of anything around a piece of information causes there to be a border of white. This can make your information stand out more. This poster, which separates its columns by using a gray box around the text and some lines to frame the different sections. Another reason this poster is easy to read is because the various sections is is easy to read between the various sections is the white space between the sections, which helps to keep the information easy to read. Also, this poster is easy to tell what the main idea is because of the big picture in the center of the graphic telling you that it's talking about lightning. In a lot of graphics and presentations, you'll see images displayed. You don't want to just throw up an images as a placeholder with no direct meaning, as it will distract you from your overall message. This includes graphs. They are useful tools, but when they're just placed there for the sake of taking up room, they can be a major distraction. So a question to ask yourself is, do you really need an image? It's really important to ask yourself this question because images are a great way to get your message across, but you don't want to distract the audience from that message. Regardless of whether you're making a slide deck, a video like this, or poster, you want to use your visuals wisely. You have a limited amount of room, and oftentimes a picture can communicate more than just words. Just make sure that the picture is communicating what you need it to. Sometimes no images are better than just random ones, and text can also be considered an image. When picking out an image, it's important to check the resolution of those images that you're looking for. Your preferred search engine can filter the sizes of the images, and resolution is really important to consider when printing or presenting. If you have to print, you should always print a test sheet to see if your colors are right and the image you're using comes clean because every printer is different and the size might change when going from the computer to paper. This also is good to keep in mind when presenting because a bigger screen means your image will be stretched out more. So choose a large image, one with a high resolution, or risk your information being lost to fuzz. Last, you need to cite your images or anything else you use that comes from another source. There are a lot of free image sources on the internet, such as Wikimedia Commons, Flickr, and any public domain. Both of these websites have images that are under the Creative Commons license, so they're free to use. You still have to cite them and provide attribution to the creator, but for more information about image use, check out the tutorial linked here. Remember, no matter what image you select, always check the resolution before using them, or a message could be lost. So I hope this video helps to clear up any confusion you have about starting to make a visual, but if you still have questions or need assistance, then you can go to cxc.lsu.edu to make an appointment with one of our visual communication mentors. We have multiple locations across LSU, so check out the website for the other resources we have. This is an amazing resource that you can use to further your own skills in the many different forms of communication. If equipment is what you need though, such as microphones or cameras, then you can come check that out as well. Thanks.